Hey there, it is July 20th and I am looking at realtor.com. I'm looking at the eastern upper peninsula of Michigan to see what listings we have added over the last week. And I've used the draw tool to draw around on the map. And I'm going to go ahead and put in some filters and we'll take a look and see how many new listings we have this week. I'm going to take away pending and contingent. I just want to look at the last 7 days for new listings. So over the last week, we've had 7 listings. And this is all lot sizes. So let me just put in 10. So we have 65,000 for 85 acres in Newberry. Listed yesterday. Surrounded by state and CFA lands. Diverse wildlife, including eagles, fox, grouse, deer, bears, rabbits, wildlife observation and photography, ATV or snowmobile, near iconic landmarks, off-grid living for a peaceful retreat. So this is probably a seasonal road, I would guess. It says, yeah, seasonal. It's definitely remote. Go to Bone Lake Road, take a left. Beginning of the road is fine, but as you travel further on it, you should use a tracked ATV equipped with the winches. There are areas with poor drainage and deep ruts. Okay, so you're not really going to drive up and see that one. It's adventure. 75,000 for 150 acres. This one is hunting land with a ridge that runs through for a cabin. Part has a good road through it. This is known as the Dollarville back in the day. There's huge white and red pines along with a mixture of cedar, conifers, deer, blueberries. Near Teaspoon Creek, near boat launch at Natalie. So this is just outside of town. So this one looks pretty interesting. Bunch of photos. And a map that shows you that's a big chunk of land. And this person is selling quite a few different big lots, I noticed when I was looking in the Newberry area. 10 acres. 79,000. This one is on Old Lane Road. 10 acres, Tequamanon Woods. Pole barn style cabin. Screened-in porch. Half bath bunk area. 12-volt power, ceiling lights, battery powered lighting for convenience, fresh paint. So this one looks pretty good as well. It might be one of those seasonal, hard to get to, not sure. North from office, I'm guessing, is in Newberry. 15 miles to Pinewood, go down about 0.6 miles to cabin. And they do show the parcel numbers on some of these, which I don't know if I've ever shown. Let me see if I can pull up here. Luce County parcel map. And there's one that is called Calico GIS. And then there's a bunch of different counties in the UP up here. And then you go here, agree to continue. It will pull up the map. So there's Newberry. So then these are in sections. So there's like big squares with numbers on them. When you zoom in, you can see. So this one is section 3834 and then 0100. So you want to look for 34 and then 0100. So let's see here, 32, 33, 34. And then if you zoom in, you'll start getting numbers. So it was 3, 8, 34, 100. So this is not the right one. This is 3, 2. Okay, let's wait. Here, this said north of Newberry. Let me try this. North of Newberry. Don't get some numbers here. 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 6. It's 123. Oh, am I getting section numbers? They're just different. 3, 5. We follow 123. See if that helps. 3, 8. Okay. 3, 8, 34. And then we wanted 100. 3, 8, 34, 110, 100. This one. So these people live in Manchester. There's the legal description. And what this does, I don't know, but it's kind of good to know what the tax rate is they're doing now. This is like what they're paying now based on. So this is half, so essentially 40,000. They're paying taxes on 40,000. So sometimes the realtors like to put in what they're paying for taxes, so you can kind of gauge. It doesn't say, but so they're going to sell it for 80. So essentially you're going to be paying twice as much on taxes as what they're paying now, basically. But this gives you a good view of like what is around you, and then okay, where's the road and how do you get to it? There's like what's this? Is this an easement or where's the road? So then you can look at Google Maps and you can kind of get more of an idea of what's going on. But yeah, so this is how you can look at parcels if you have a parcel number. So this is nice because it has a cabin and a camper. They have a lot of pictures, a lot of stuff. And this one, it's more like ready to go, which is nice. So it's expensive per acre, but you're getting a cabin with everything. Yeah, so this is nice too. Possibly seasonal, being so far off the road. So if you're not coming in the winter, then you're fine. It doesn't matter. So those are the new ones in our 100,000 range, 10 acres or more. So you definitely can play around. Like I did when I was looking at my property, I just kind of played around. Like if you want 5 acres, there could be something listed for 4.9. So you better put in 2 to get everything over 2, because if it's 4.99, it won't show up in a 5-acre search. So what we did was we were looking for 20. I always put in 15, and then if there wasn't anything there, I just kind of keep looking and like, well, maybe there's something with 10 that's really good, or so you can just keep kind of changing. But see, I went down and there's still nothing there. So and then you can play with the price. Well, maybe I can spend 150. And so let's see if we get any more listings for that. So there we got 7 now. So we more than doubled our 3, and now we have 7 that we can look at. And maybe you can't spend that much, but it's kind of good to know what's available, because you never know. All right. So I showed you realtor.com today. I showed you a little bit of the parcel map that we have available to us. Not all counties use this one. If you just search parcel map, it kind of just gives you like the exact acreage. Usually it's kind of good to know who owns it and if they're living in the area or if they're out of state even. Maybe they're more willing to adjust on the price if they're not um, close to the property, right? Because maybe they can't hardly ever come up to their property. So the other thing I wanted to talk about today is, do you know what happens to property when people can't afford to pay their property tax? I'm sure there's a lot of things that happen, but the one thing I do know is that there is in Michigan this tax-sale.info website, and every summer and fall there's a first auction and then a second auction. And depending on what you're doing, these are not always the best properties in the world, but you can go and look at specific counties to see what's going on. So there's the legend on the right that kind of shows you if it's acreage, if it's a home with acreage, if it's waterfront, if it's just vacant land. So you can come and look. So here is 40 acres of wetland with access issues. Now, that's not the best thing in the world that people would want to buy, but the way it works is you put in an offer online. I think maybe they have a way to mail in offers too. So the minimum bid is usually the back taxes that the person did not pay. So then you your minimum bid has to be at least that, and then if you win, if you're the winning bid, so you probably, if you really like something, you want to bid a little higher, or what the closer to value may be, because other people are going to be bidding as well, and you cannot see what the other people are bidding. So if you're serious about it, you want to put in a good bid. But if you win the bid, you pay whatever the bid was you put in, plus you pay a $30 paper, for the deed processing to get that filed, and then you pay the current tax for summer. So if you're patient and you keep looking, they do this every summer. So not a lot in Luce County going on, but here's a house for $2,600. Definitely looks like it needs some work, but if you are looking for a project, or if you're looking for hunting land or something, then you're not super particular and you're looking for a good deal, you might just poke around on this website and see what you can find. Here is an acre, 1.7 acres south of Newberry. It gives you the parcel number. You can go to the parcel map and find it and see, what's going on with it. This one you'd pay like $1,000 and you can have an acre in Newberry. Now, can you camp on it or can you homestead on it? I don't know. You definitely want to call the zoning office and say, what is the deal with this parcel number? What is the zoning? Um, maybe maybe it's commercial. I think it is on the straightaway into town. Maybe you're not allowed to do anything like that there, but maybe you would find something on here that you could do something like that with. Um, this one in McMillan, it could potentially be one like that. It's long and tall, y'all. A skinny piece of McMillan. So this one is $800 minimum bid, right? If you really like it, you could put in a 3,000, 5,000, whatever you think, and then and bid on it and see what you want. And if you go to more info, I believe I have I have an account because I bid on something before in a previous life. We had a little piece of vacant land next to our house that was on here that the people abandoned it and never paid their taxes, and it was on here. So we tried to bid on it and somebody outbid us. It was actually a builder who thought that he could build on it, and it was really not buildable. I don't think the guy even came and looked at it. Honestly, if he'd looked at it, he probably wouldn't have bought it. Um, so yeah, so he won the bid and he got the property and then never did anything with it. And then, I don't know, was it 2 or 3 years later? I'm like, what is this guy doing with this property? He bought it for nothing, right? So I wrote him a letter and I said, hey, this property that you bought is next to my house and we would like to buy it. And we actually did. We bought it from him a few years later, and not for a whole lot more than what he paid for the auction. So it worked out pretty good. But things like that, it's usually, property that nobody wants, or there are sometimes some really nice houses out here that people just couldn't afford, and they don't pay their taxes, and they end up on the auction. So um, it's kind of interesting. And if you're driving around, you might see the little auction signs in properties. So yeah, so I was looking to see if there was like any really nice ones. And these are near Seney. That'd be cool. So I think these are listed on realtor.com too. I think I saw these listed for sale. I don't know. Maybe not, because I don't know that they can sell them at both. They can't sell them at both places at the same time. So yeah. So I'm gonna look at a key one off. Whoops. No, no, no. It clicked on me. It's a little funny. How far did it go? It thinks I'm clicking. Nothing. Oh, there's one by Mohawk. There's a house. So minimum bid, $2,000. A lot of these need work. They could be ransacked. There could be people living in them. And I was reading the frequently asked questions, and it said that if somebody is living in the house when you buy it, that you have to do the eviction process. So you'd have to like go to court and have them kicked out, which was kind of interesting. So if you buy a house on here, you want to make sure um, if there's anybody in it or not. I don't believe you can actually like go and look at these. I think it's just online. I mean, you can go and drive around it and probably peek in the windows, but I don't think you can get like a tour or anything and go inside. Um, if you have a contractor, this one's really rough. If you have a contractor or something that maybe can walk around it with you and look, but yeah, so this is kind of a nice tool for people looking for deals. Again, they're not all junk. There could be some really nice things if you're um, looking for, if what you're looking for isn't on realtor.com, maybe give this a try and see. Here's a waterfront home. Oh, Horseshoe Lake frontage on Mohawk Trail. 4,000. See, I mean, if you're patient and look, or you know what kind of area you want to be in, right? I don't know if their searching is very elaborate. If you know you want to be in a certain county, that's probably your best bet to try and find something. But if you have a little sweat equity in some of these, I mean, 4,000 upfront for a house, and then you're going to pay tax on this SEV number, which is usually half. So they're thinking this house is worth like $45,000, right? And then you pay property taxes on half of that. So that's how that works. And these are coming up in August, and depending on what county you're in, they have different dates. So let's see here. So this is Mackinac. So when you look at them, it tells you you have to have your bids in by August 18th, and I believe they're accepting bids now. But definitely view the frequently asked questions. You have to sign up for an account. You have to give them a credit card with $1,000 on it as a, if they use it as like a down payment in case you bid. So do that. And then if you win the bid, then you pay the difference. That's cool. There's an old license plate. So this is kind of just starting. I believe they just opened this up yesterday. So I have all these windows open. So every county is different. Let's see, let me see what the loose ones were saying. And I believe you have to have create an account with them to log in and see the pictures. August 18th. Let's see, this would be a good area. Modern home and 30 acres, $10,000. August 18th. I wonder if they do the UP all at the same time. Pretty sure they do different. Let's look down here. Look at a house. 9,000, August 28th. So these are later. Ooh, the expensive one. So they think this is worth 120,000. Yeah, I was looking at acreage in the Lower Peninsula and I was just like, oh my gosh, because like 10 acres down here is a lot different than 10 acres in the UP. It's unreal. Their map acts funny. Let's look over here. 5 acres with a mobile home on 31 in Muskegon, 2,500. That's this one. Steel barn and 20 acres, 5,000. I definitely have seen very nice houses on here. Just because you have a really nice house doesn't mean you can afford it. And then it goes back to the state. I think over by the lake. South Haven, 900 for a little tiny sliver. But yeah, so I wanted to show you that. I don't know if you've heard of this or seen the signs around. But yeah, so this is a Michigan thing. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to the people that run this. And it is legit. And it can be, they're based out of Kalamazoo. It's cool. Yeah, so that's what I had today. A few more listings. I'm noticing a lot of really big lots of land. So I did want to let you know I updated my Google Docs, my sheet that I have. So I'm putting some links on the first tab here, and I'm putting all the counties together on one document so you don't have to go to different links for each one. So I have Alger County here, and nothing new added today. I have Luce County here. And I believe I did add there's some big, big lots. There's one with 150 acres. Here, let's sort by date. So I added 3. There's one with 150, a 10 acre, and a 320 acre in Luce County. And Mackinac County, I added today. There's a couple there that don't look too bad. And Schoolcraft County, I added in a few there. These are, there's an 80 and a couple with 20. So all of these now in one sheet, you'll just go across the bottom to the tab that you want to see.